All weep for innocent, fallen William. Please do not confuse William Longsword with his great-great-grandson, William, also known as the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy and King of England. Now this William, he was the son of Rollo, the pagan Viking who made peace with Charles, king of the West Franks. I, Charles, do hereby make peace with Rollo and grant him these lands around Rouen and the city of Rouen and the river Seine. And I, Rollo, promise peace and good faith to Charles. And he did that. Rollo kept the peace. He negotiated with all of the other Vikings and kept Rouen, Seine, and Paris free of Viking incursions during this period. He was a very honorable and very trustworthy man. When he died as a pagan, stuck in the errors of his fathers. But William was raised in the true faith of his mother, and he knew the lasting love of God. The other pagans there, when he became their ruler, did not trust him, and so they sought to overthrow him. But with his mighty sword and faith in God, William made himself the ruler of them all. William pledged himself to Louis, the new king, the son of Charles, and he promised that he would be a faithful follower, that he would lend his armies to Louis. He would help keep the peace. And Louis, in turn, granted, all of these lands that my father gave to you, so shall you have, so shall your heirs. And they were very good together. All weep for the fallen William. William brought the peace to Normandy, to the northern part of France, what we would call France today. And the monks who had suffered so much from the devastations from the previous generations of Vikings returned, and William was there for them. He granted them land so that they could rebuild and sustain their monasteries. He built new monasteries. He was, as to like a monk's life, if he so chose, he was the defender of the peace. He comforted the poor, the young. He was the protector of widows. And so many good things that he did. It seems a crime to have to announce what happened to him. He was a lamb butchered by the wolf. All weep for the innocent, fallen William. The wolf came from the north and the east, Arnulf of Flanders. Arnulf was not a faithful man. He would pledge himself to Otto, king of the East Franks, and then pledge himself to Louis, king of the West Franks. Whichever one would serve him better at that moment, that's who Arnulf would serve, because it only best served self. One time, Arnulf seized the land of Montereau-sur-Mer, a small town with a port, because he wanted that territory. He wanted those monies. The true ruler, Herline, fled over to William, and William brought his armies in, restored Herline to his rightful position, and kept the peace for Louis. And this was just one of many, many instances of where William kept the peace and kept things proper for the people of this region of Normandy and Flanders in between. Well, there were several instances, and they decided that they would parley there in Amiens so that they could settle their differences and there could be peace between them. It was a very crisp November Saturday. William had arrived, and he sailed across the river to make sure that everything was prepared for their parley the next day. As he returns back there in the autumn evening, he hears a call, "William! We have news of our master. Please, we have important news to tell you." Not being terribly trustful, he does sail back over. His bodyguard comes over. They are weaponless. They have no swords. So William climbs out of the boat. He says, "What is it? What do you need to tell me?" And from their cowls, they pull out a sword and they stab both William and his bodyguard. All weep for the fallen, slain William. Arnulf's men left, and here before us lies the bodies of William and his bodyguards. Their bodies here, their souls sent safely up to heaven. All weep for innocent, slain William. Louis did the proper thing. He reestablished control. He set William's son Richard on the throne of Rouen. He became the count, and over the next 50 years, Count Richard, the fearless, became Duke Richard of Normandy. He pacified the area. He kept the politics safe. He kept the people secure. And in the end, his descendants became true rulers of the world. For in fact, his descendants are countless, like the sea, like the grains of sand on the beach or the stars in the sky. For the last 1,000 years, only 4 monarchs have not been descended from William. And every living monarch today is descended from William. All weep for innocent, slain William.